Welcome to 5 Topics, 5 Minutes. This week, we'll be discussing what happened in the week between November 7th and November 13th. This week, we'll be discussing the Poland-Belarus migrant crisis, updates on COP26, the US's reopening for vaccinated travelers, the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, and J&J Split into 2 corporations. Our first topic is the Poland-Belarus migrant crisis. Protesters in Belarus, who have largely risen up following the August 2020 election where President Alexander Lukashenko was given a 6th term in office, have been met with harsh opposition from Belarusian authorities, with thousands of protesters being arrested and beaten. President Lukashenko has stifled opposition by controlling the media, jailing political opponents, and with a secret police still called the KGB, as in the Soviet era. The EU and US have since imposed sanctions on Belarus, with Russia supporting Belarus through conducting joint military exercises and providing loans and political support to Belarus. As asylum seekers from Belarus have attempted to go to neighboring countries such as Lithuania, Poland, and Latvia, a crisis has emerged as countries such as Poland have rejected the migrants, leaving them to wait near the border in exposed, freezing conditions. Our second topic includes updates from the COP26 Climate Summit. In another update on the COP26 Summit, a new draft agreement was released on Saturday morning, November 13th, that requests wealthy nations to, quote, at least double the aid for climate adaptation that they provide to less wealthy countries by the year 2025. It also asks countries to work towards reducing dependability on coal and to cut subsidies on fossil fuels. The final agreement will require all of the over 200 nations present at COP26 to sign. Notably, China and the US agreed to cooperate on implementing stronger plans to cut emissions. While there aren't many specifics on this agreement to cooperate yet between the 2 countries, the very act of cooperation has been praised by many as a good step by 2 superpowers that have recently been at odds. Our third topic is the US's reopening of borders for vaccinated travelers abroad. After reopening travel over land borders with Canada and Mexico in October, the US also reopened its borders to fully vaccinated travelers from several countries overseas. The rules pertaining to international travel to the United States require proof of full vaccination and a negative COVID test taken at most 3 days before travel. The vaccination must be from a vaccine that has been approved by the World Health Organization for emergency use. Unvaccinated Americans and children under 18 do not need to show proof of vaccination nor a negative COVID test, but must take a COVID test within a day of travel. Since the announcement, hotels and airlines have seen increased demand as people rush to meet loved ones and friends that they could not meet during the pandemic. Our fourth topic is the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse. The trial of 18-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse, who as a 17-year-old teenager shot and killed 2 men, wounding a third, continued this week. The shooting, or murder, depending on how some view the event, occurred in Kenosha, Wisconsin in 2020 in the wake of Black Lives Matter protests. Rittenhouse claims he went out with a medical kit to help injured people and with a gun to defend himself, though some are questioning why he needed an AR-15, a semi-automatic rifle. Rittenhouse claims that he shot the men in self-defense as they attacked him. In the meantime, Rittenhouse faces counts of first-degree reckless homicide, first-degree recklessly endangering safety, first-degree intentional homicide, attempted first-degree intentional homicide, possession of a dangerous weapon by a person under 18, and failure to comply with an emergency order from a state or local government. Our fifth and final topic is Johnson & Johnson, or J&J's, split into two corporations. J&J announced plans to split into two companies, with one business being for prescription drugs and medical devices, and another selling consumer products such as Band-Aids, Tylenols, and baby powder. Analysts such as Larry Beagleson of Wells Fargo explained that the split makes sense from a business perspective, as there is, quote, not much synergy between the consumer business and the other J&J segments. The name of the new consumer-oriented company in the meantime is to be determined. The split comes in the wake of several corporate splits since the pandemic, including splits by Pfizer and Merck, who have split from their own consumer businesses to focus on pharmaceuticals, and General Electric, who has announced its decision to break into three public companies in aviation, healthcare, and power. Thank you for watching 5 Topics, 5 Minutes. Please have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend.